that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
At this point, it honestly feels like the entire basketball universe has jumped into this drama. Let's just keep it real for a moment. Over the last year, Sheryl Swoopes has gone on what can only be described as a non-stop campaign against Caitlin Clark, throwing out some of the oddest and most baseless claims anyone has ever heard. She's pushed the narrative that Clark is secretly 25 playing against freshmen, insisted her historic rookie run wasn't actually impressive, and even suggested that nobody in the league wants to suit up beside her. It's been this never-ending wave of negativity that just kept rolling and rolling like it had no finish line. If you want a deep dive in WNBA stories, subscribe to the channel and hit like so this video could reach more basketball lovers.
Years, they will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Right.
How can you separate the two? It's kind of hard, right?
And I used, Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big.
And just when it felt like the noise might drown out everything else, a true titan of the game, and someone who once coached Clark, Cheryl Miller, stepped right into the spotlight. She hit the All the Smoke podcast and unleashed what can only be described as a knockout punch to the critics, flat out calling Swoopes a massive fool and shredding every bogus narrative piece by piece. Fans are practically vibrating with excitement watching Miller finally set the record straight. But the passion behind Miller's defense of Caitlin Clark also hints at something far more unexpected about the future of the Indiana Fever. Buckle up. Let's go.
Player of the Year, two-time national championship, two-time tournament MVP, first woman to dunk in an organized game, gold medalist. Thank you for making time. Welcome to the show, Cheryl Miller.
But before we break down every hard-hitting thing Miller said, we need to pause and look at the bigger picture. Have you ever really stopped to wonder why one of basketball's own icons seems so determined to tear down the WNBA's biggest rising star? It's a question that deserves attention. So let's zoom all the way in on this strange, persistent mission Sheryl Swoopes has been on. A mission that began back in Clark's college days and somehow continued all the way into her rookie year. If you feel the same like the video and drop your thoughts in the comments, it really helps us to know what the fans are thinking about it.
People talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20.
It really all started with Swoopes firing off these wildly inaccurate claims about Clark's legendary college run. In what might go down as her most unbelievable accusation yet, Swoopes declared that Clark was a 25-year-old going up against 20-year-olds at Iowa. Let's clear that up with facts. Clark was 22, finishing her fourth year just like thousands of other seniors. When people pushed back on this blatant misinformation, Swoopes tried to wiggle around it, insisting it was just exaggerated commentary about COVID eligibility years. But the excuse fell apart instantly under even the slightest scrutiny.
Right now, it probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Here we go.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team.
She followed that up by insisting Clark was chucking up 40 shots a game, trying to paint her as some selfish, tunnel vision shooter. But the real numbers? Clark averaged a very normal 22.7 field goal attempts per game. And the funniest part? Swoopes herself put up 19.2 attempts as a senior, just 3 fewer than Clark. That's a whole glass house and stones moment right there. When that angle didn't stick, Swoopes switched strategies again, especially as Clark crept closer to breaking the NCAA all-time scoring record, hinting that Clark would need a 5th year to get it done.
If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
Of course, that claim was entirely false. And once Clark made the jump to the WNBA, Swoopes doubled down, boldly predicting Clark would struggle to make any real impact. But as Clark immediately shattered rookie assist records and cemented herself as one of the league's elite playmakers, Swoopes conveniently avoided acknowledging that Clark could have used a COVID fifth year, but purposely chose not to. In the end, the stats told the story loud and clear. Clark wrapped up her rookie season averaging 19.2 points and a league-leading 8.4 assists per game, silencing every critic and earning Rookie of the Year without question.
It wouldn't be good. What I said was I didn't think Caitlin or Angel would come into the league and dominate immediately, which I don't think either of them did.
Respectfully, there is absolutely no way, even when we're trying to sit here and play semantics about dominating, there's no way that anyone could ever leave this season in saying that both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese didn't dominate. You would have to further explain what dominance means for you to not sit here and say that a player who is leading the league in assists while averaging 19 to 20 points didn't dominate.
One of the most revealing moments came when Swoopes went on Angel Reese's podcast and kept throwing shade at Clark, while insisting she didn't dislike her. It was the kind of contradiction that made people stop and stare. Her words said one thing, but her actions were screaming something completely different. The hypocrisy was impossible to miss.
Cheryl, since she was in college, I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first SBs. I've known Cheryl, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that, you know, there was this quote by Cheryl that said,
as more and more of the basketball world began noticing this pattern, the nonstop criticism became impossible to brush aside. Eventually, the situation had real consequences. Swoopes was removed from broadcasting an Indiana Fever game and replaced by another legend, Nancy Lieberman, who had no problem stepping up and correcting the misinformation being spread about the league's newest phenomenon.
Redmill, and I called her as a friend, and I said, you can say whatever you want.
And here's where everything truly shifted. When Cheryl Miller stepped into the All the Smoke studio and unleashed her full perspective, the game finally heard from someone whose credibility is beyond question. So let me ask you this. What happens when a basketball icon, someone who has actually coached Clark, decides she's done keeping quiet? You get one of the strongest, most authentic defenses women's basketball has ever witnessed. What's your take about that? Drop your thoughts below to get into this discussion.
Actually, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummies. Is she getting hyped? Yes.
Yeah.
But she was in the backyard. She was putting in.
As Miller reflected on the pressure Clark was forced to carry, she said something powerful. That constant criticism can push you into this endless cycle of needing to prove yourself again and again. She understood Clark wasn't wrong for what she was giving. And here's the truth almost no critic wants to say out loud. Clark's presence has elevated the entire league. From massive viewership spikes to sold-out arenas and increased media attention, every single player, every franchise, every paycheck benefits from the spotlight Clark brought.
I mean, look, as much as she was given, you can't tell me if that door would have swung the other way where she didn't live up to the hype.
Right.
Come on, folks are still waiting for her to fall.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yep.
So, with that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid.
After coaching Clark firsthand during the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game, Miller got a close-up look at Clark that went far beyond highlights and hot takes. What she saw up close genuinely surprised her. That first-hand insight is exactly what makes Miller's defense so powerful and nearly impossible for anyone to dismiss.
He coached the WNBA All-Star game. You spent some time with Caitlin Clark.
Best coaching job ever.
Best coaching job
Best
ever.
coaching job ever.
Being around Caitlin Clark, how was the experience for her? She's such a big star. I mean, the sky's the limit for her. To be around her, just talk about the type of person she is and how much she loves the game.
I'm going to be honest because it needs to be said. I can relate to that young lady, and I felt for her.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to be a Black woman and hated because...
As Miller explained, I was relieved to find out the story wasn't true. With that one statement, she unraveled months of negative narratives. But she didn't stop there. Miller dug even deeper, offering rare insight into what makes Clark such an exceptional talent. In doing so, she cut through all the noise and went straight to the truth.
Imagine this young lady, I don't want to use hate, but despised.
Mm-hmm.
And people just having, she brought some on herself a little bit because she's cocky for a good reason.
Mm-hmm. Confident.
And I love that about her. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't.
But here's the part most people overlook. Miller's technical breakdown of Clark's game, impressive as it is, actually hides something even more meaningful. A genuine emotional connection formed during Clark's toughest moments. That bond became undeniable when the Fever secured their first win of the 2025 season. Miller didn't just congratulate her. She offered real, heartfelt support at a moment Clark desperately needed it.
Her past, and I didn't know how talented she was and how well she sees the game in a 3D version. Thinker. Defensively a lot better than I thought and gave her credit for. So watching her and just spending a little time. And one thing, guys, that I've learned is to step back and let these kids be them.
After that first Fever victory, Miller and Clark shared an embrace that was so much deeper than a casual congratulation. It revealed just how isolated Clark had felt during that early storm of criticism. Miller remembered the emotion clearly, saying, "When she saw me, I gave her the biggest hug I could, and she said, 'Finally someone who's on my side.'" Miller added, "She was getting hit from every direction."
I was getting hit with everything left and right, and I just said, I hugged her. I said, "I'm so proud of you." I go, "Savor this. Use this as a formula." I said, "But keep being you." I said, "No matter what, keep."
In that vulnerable moment, Miller offered the kind of guidance that only someone who's walked the same difficult road could give. These weren't empty comfort words. They were a lifeline to a rookie buried under pressure. Miller told her, "I'm really proud of you," then added, "Use this, use all of it, but never stop being yourself."
It's a crown that she's wearing right now.
Right.
And it wasn't something that she anointed herself. It's something that's been placed on her head, and I hope people understand that. But it's everything.
When Cheryl Miller speaks, the basketball world listens, and for good reason. Her resume is unmatched. 3 Naismith Player of the Year awards, 2 national championships, an Olympic gold medal, and a permanent home in the Basketball Hall of Fame. But her support for Clark goes beyond achievements. She sees what so many critics miss: Clark's extraordinary court vision, the thing that makes her far more than just a scorer. So now it's your turn. What do you think about all this? Drop your thoughts below. Are you fired up seeing a legend like Miller step in? And if you're rocking with Court Queens, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and turn on all notifications so you never miss the next breakdown. Tap the video on your screen, and I'll see you in the next one.